Good morning, everyone. There's been a lot of Christians that have literally bashed and maligned people on Facebook that are reaching out for help. I know there's people that scam, I know there's a lot of them. But I have a question for you, just like I have a question for a group of ministers that met one night in another minister's home and were bashing people that were reaching out for help and labeling pretty much universally across the board all those as scammers and lowlifes and every other imaginable adjective. We need to be careful about attacking those who are needy. There are many scriptures throughout the Bible that talk about the poor, the fatherless, and the widows. I'll just read a few of them. Has to do with widows and orphans. 1 Timothy 5:16, if any man or woman that believeth hath widows, let them relieve them. And let not the church be charged that it may relieve them that are widows indeed. 1 Timothy 5:3, honor widows that are widows indeed. Psalm 68:5, a father of the fatherless and a judge of the widows is God in his holy habitation. Job 22:9, thou hast sent widows away empty, and the arms of the fatherless have been broken. Mark 12:40, which devour widows' houses, and for pretense make long prayers, these shall receive greater damnation. Luke 20:47, which devour widows' houses, and for a show make long prayers, the same shall receive a greater damnation. James 1:27, pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. Luke 4:25, I tell you of a truth, and many widows were in Israel in the days of Elias, when the heaven was shut up 3 years and 6 months, when great famine was throughout all the land. Acts 6:1, and in those days when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. Matthew 23:14, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer, therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. Jeremiah 15:8, their widows are increased to me above the sand of the seas. Ezekiel 22:25, there's a conspiracy of her prophets in the midst thereof, like a roaring lion ravening the prey. They have devoured souls, they have taken the treasure and precious things, they have made her many widows in the midst thereof. Now, I also want to read to you something that I recently wrote. I pasted this on Facebook, and I hope that we will examine ourselves in regards to this. You may have said, I've never been poor, destitute. You may have been said, I'm a self-made woman or man. You may have said, I'm in the best of health. I got my plans. You may have said, I've got the world by the tail in my hands. One day you may just find out none of these things are true. You're trusting in yourself. You're already spiritually destitute. You're not a self-made man, woman, or man. God has your destiny in his hands. One day your health may be taken from you. Then what will you say? You'll have to denounce all the lies you spewed out before this day. Now, I know a lot of people that hear this will say, oh, Larry's just, preaching a social gospel. No, I'm preaching Christianity. And if you want to self-justify yourself putting yourself up on a pedestal and telling everyone, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. And you're turning your back on those who are crying out for a cup of cold water or um, assistance in some manner or form. Um, I think you need to examine that. I don't believe it's Christ like. And if you make statements about how smart you are, how smart you were in school, um, if you make statements about how that everybody talked about how smart you are and your successes, that's nothing more than Nebuchadnezzar activity prior to his being humbled. So that's my response to those ministers, churches, church members who want to malign and attack those who are going through heartache and suffering that they don't know anything about. I had a person one time even say to me, "Where are the poor anyway?" Now, I know a lot of people abuse the social welfare system, and I know there are a lot of connivers and manipulators. But I have a question for you. Doesn't Scripture tell us that we all have sinned and come short of the glory of God? No, I'm not justifying sin, but by the grace of God, there would we go. God bless.